Hello world, and welcome to the third episode of How to Solo over almost anything. Yes, almost anything. We're getting pretty much the majority of all the music that's played on the radio, country, rock, pop, stuff like that. Anyway, this is a series. If you missed the first two videos, you should go watch them. If not, you will have no idea what's going on. Forewarning. I am perfectly fine with you watching my videos and not having any idea what's going on because I like views. But for you guys, I'm telling you that if you want to benefit, you need to go back to video number 1. Anywho, the thing that I want you guys to get in this lesson, this video, is that the scales that we have learned can be moved. You can move them around. It's really easy on guitar. It's harder on piano, but on guitar, it's really easy to just take that shape that we have, the shape that we have learned, and just move it up or move it down. And in doing so, you create a different minor scale or a different major scale. Let me explain that. So we know that if we play this minor scale right here, the one that starts on the 5th fret of the E string and takes that shape, we know that is an A minor scale, right? Of course we do. But we can take that same shape, that same scalar shape, and move it somewhere else. So I don't know, how about right here? What if we played that same shape but started on the 8th fret of the 6th string? That would sound like this. That, my friends, is a C minor scale. What if we take that same shape and move it back a little bit to, I don't know, the 2nd fret, and we start on the 2nd fret and play the exact same shape? That is an F sharp minor scale. So to understand how this works, you need to know the notes on the fretboard. And in order to know the notes on the fretboard, you have to know what notes exist in the universe. So there's a thing called the chromatic scale. I'm going to try to write it up here on the screen. I don't know if I'm technologically advanced enough to do so, but I'm going to try my best. And the chromatic scale, it consists of 12 notes, and those are the 12 notes that we use in Western music to divide up the octave. If you want a deeper explanation of what I just said, you can go to my, what is it called? If you want a deeper explanation of what I just said, you can go to my Crash Course in Music Theory series, and in the very first video, I talk about the chromatic scale and the octave, and that's all that stuff right there. If you don't want to understand what's going on and you just want enough to solo, then let's keep going. So the notes that we use in Western music are A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, then it starts over just like that. We could do the same thing with flats if we wanted A, B flat, B, C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat. Then it'll just keep going over and over and over again like that. So you need to know how that chromatic scale works. You also need to know the names of the strings. You need to know which notes each of these strings are. And starting from the big one, going down to the little one, so starting from the 6th string, going down to the 1st string, it is E, A, D, G, B, E. E, A, D, G, B, E. And I hereby challenge all of you to come up with some sort of weird, wacky, like mnemonic device to help you remember that. E, A, D, like every Australian dog, or didgeridoo. I like didgeridoo better. Eating, ancient, donuts, goes, badly, every time. I know every time is 2 words, but that was really awesome. That was actually improv just right now on the video. I thought of that. So the 6th string is an E, the 5th string is an A, the 4th string is a D, the 3rd string is a G, the 2nd string is a B, the 1st string is an E. So if we play the open E string, it's an E. But then if we go up a fret to the 1st fret E string, that is what? It's an F. Why? Because in the chromatic scale, in the notes that we use to divide up the octave, F comes after E. So if you move up 1 fret, you have moved up 1 position. We call it a half step. You have moved from the E to the next one, which is F. Then if you go from that F and go up another one, now what do you get? You get F sharp or G flat, depending on what you want to call it. And then you go up again, you get G. Then you go up again, you get G sharp. Then you go up again, you get A. Then you go up again, you get, what's next? A sharp or B flat. You go up again, you get B. Go up again, you get C. Just like that. So you now, knowing the name of the string and the chromatic scale, all the notes that we use, can figure out any note on the fretboard. You start from the open string and just kind of count up to it, and then you're good. Pro tip, the 12th fret is the same note as the open string. So the 12th frets are also E, A, D, G, B, E, just like that. So you don't always have to start from 0 and go way the crap up here. Sometimes you can start from 12 and then go down, because you know what all those notes are too, on the 12th fret. So let's say that we want to play a B minor scale. In order to play a B minor scale, we're going to take our shape that we know. We only know one shape right now, unless you've skipped ahead to the other videos that I haven't recorded yet. We're going to take the shape and put it somewhere so that the root notes of the scale are B's. And when the root notes of this minor scale are B's, that's when we have a B minor scale. We know that when we're playing these notes as a minor scale, that the root notes are the first note, the 8th note, and this one up here. I guess that's the 15th note, the first string, 5th fret. We know that those notes are the root notes of that particular scale. So we want to put this scale in such a place that those notes are now B's. The easiest way to do this is to find a B on the 6th string and then start the minor scale there. So let's find a B on the 6th string. We know that the open string is E, 1st fret is F, 2nd fret is F sharp, 3rd fret is G, 4th fret is G sharp, or A flat, however you want to talk about it. Then we have A. The 6th fret is B flat or A sharp. Then the 7th fret is B. Bam, we found it. That's what we're looking for, is a B. So we know that the 7th fret on the E string is a B. So we're going to take this shape that we know and love, and that we have played so much and practiced so much, and we're going to slide it up so that it starts on the 7th fret. For some people, that's going to be super easy. They're just going to be like, oh, okay, that's I understand. That's just like this. For others, it's not going to be so easy. So I'm going to call out the notes one by one. On the 6th string, we have the 7th fret, the 9th fret, and the 10th fret, with the 1st, 3rd, and 4th fingers. On the 5th string, we have 7th fret, 1st finger, 9th fret, 3rd finger, 10th fret, 4th finger. On the 4th string, we have 7th fret, 1st finger, 9th fret, 3rd finger. On the 3rd string, we have 6th fret, 1st finger, 7th fret, 2nd finger, 9th fret, 4th finger. On the 2nd string, we have 7th fret, 1st finger, 8th fret, 2nd finger, 10th fret, 4th finger. On the 1st string, it's the same as the 6th string. So we have 7, 9, 10. Essentially, 7th fret, 9th fret, and 10th fret, all on the 1st string. So that's going to sound like this. And then backwards, or descending, if you will. That's how that works. Now, relatively, our root notes are all in the same place. So it's still the 1st note, still this 8th note, and then still this other 15th note. So it's they're still in the same place relative to the shape. We just took the whole shape and moved it. So now, when you see something that is in the key of B minor, you can now play on top of it. You just take your A minor scale and move it in such a way that the root note is a B. So I am going to now play over a track that is in A minor, and then immediately afterward play over a track that is in B minor using this one scale that we know. So we're in A minor, and this is the scale we know. There's a root note, kind of gives some resolution. There's a root note. Now we're moving this scale up. There's a root note right there. But we don't only use this shape, this group of notes, as a minor scale. We also use it as a major scale. And we know that when we use it as a major scale, the root note is not the 1st note, but the 3rd note. When we do it in the position here, the one that we know, this 3rd note is a C. And that's why this shape, when you use it as a major scale, would be a C major scale. But if we wanted to play in a different key, we would have to move it in such a way that the root note lands on this third note, or that this third note lands on the root note. So let's give an example. So let's say that we wanted to play in the key of E flat major. We wanted to solo in the key of E flat major. Well, first we need to find an E flat on the E string. We know that the 7th fret is a B, so the 8th fret is a C, the 9th fret is a C sharp or D flat, the 10th fret is a D, and the 11th fret would be a D sharp or E flat, which is the note that we're looking for. So the 11th fret on the E string is an E flat. A much easier way to find that would have been to just know that the 12th fret is an E, and then just go down one, and that gives you an E flat. So the 11th fret of the E string is an E flat. That's important because we're going to play in the key of E flat major. We know that when we use this shape as a major scale, the third note of the scale is the root note. So we need to move this shape to where this third note is an E flat. So we're going to slide up to where our pinky is on that 11th fret. If our pinky is on the 11th fret, that means we're starting on the 8th fret, right? So we're starting on the 8th fret, going 8th fret, 10th fret, 11th fret on the 6th string, then again 8, 10, 11 on the 5th string, and then 8, 10 on the 4th string, and then 7, 8, 10 on the third string, and then what is this? What are you? 8, 9, 11 on the 2nd string, and then 8, 10, 11 in terms of frets on the 1st string. That sounds like this. And we can use these notes to solo over something that is in the key of E flat. Of course, the root notes have changed. The notes are relatively the same relative to the shape itself. There's still the third note right here, and then this other second note on the 3rd string, and then this last note right here. Those are still the root notes. They've moved because the whole scale is moved, but relative to the shape, they are the same. So if we wanted to solo in the key of E flat, we could just come up to this scale and just start playing around. There's a root note, kind of gives it some resolution. There's another one. There's another one right there. All I did was take those notes that I just showed you and play them in weird orders and mess around with them and try to land on a root note. And it sounded a little bit like music. And over time, as you develop your skills and practice, you can really start to create some really cool stuff. So now you guys are going to practice. The rest of this video is going to consist of musical background music over which you guys can solo. There are going to be 2 minor key backing tracks and separate minor keys, and 2 major key backing tracks. Remember, when it's a minor key, you want the first note of that shape to be the root note of the scale, and when it's a major key, you want the third note of that shape to be the root note of the scale. But that's all we got for today. If you like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, share me on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. If you have any questions, you can ask questions down in the comments. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.